Today, I'm down at Hansville Fire and Rescue with Assistant Fire Chief Bart Absher. Bart is entered in tomorrow's 911 chili cook-off down at Cullman EMS. You can tell he's preparing the meat for his chili right now. That's a big chunk of meat, Bart. You're going to be revealing to us today your secret for chili, correct?
A little bit, not all of it.
Now, I've heard through the grapevine that Hansville Fire and Rescue chili is the favorite for this event. Is there any truth to that?
Well, you know, it depends on who you talk to. Possibility.
Okay, well, I've heard that, so we'll see. Now, tell us what you've got in the way of ingredients here. I see some canned products. Break them down for us.
Of course, I've got my chili starter that I use. Name brand chili starter here. And I prefer a lot of tomatoes with my chili. So I've got a lot of my tomatoes laid out that I'll use. And then I like a lot of different kind of beans. So I've got some black beans. And then some chili beans, and then I also put in some of my other kind of beans that I'll use that's a little extra for what I like to use. So I like to give it a different taste, different texture with all the different ingredients I got.
Now, Bart, I don't mean to interrupt your recipe here, but I'm concerned, since I'm going to be eating your chili and everybody else's, about flatulence. Have you got a cure for that, or is that not going to happen with your chili?
Not with mine, but you'll be on your own tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, so there might be a secret ingredient. Now, it looks like we're in the meat section. Tell us about that.
Yeah, use a ground chuck, 80-20 on everything. Cook it out and drain off any grease, and then fire it up and start adding my mix in the crock pot. I use the crock pot to cook all my chili, and then I've got my side stuff after it's all cooked and put together. So a lot of people like Fritos and cheese and sour cream, so I've got it all laid out, and a little salt and pepper.
So you're going to show us how it's done now, right?
Oh yeah. Alright, going to start with our chili starter. Go ahead and get it in the bottom of the crock pot first. Make sure we get all the good juice out of there. That's what makes it start really good.
Now, is the brand important on this for you, or?
It is for me. Yeah, this is a name brand, and I really have always had really good luck out of it, and so hadn't changed it since. So always works good.
And what do we got here? Obviously,
some more of the chili starter. You always go with 2 cans in a crock pot this size to get it started. And then I'll start adding some of my other beans, just regular chili beans. Get them in there. Make sure you get all the good juices out. That's bottom of the can. That's where the good stuff's at.
Now, I've got a pilot from Air Evac Life Team right behind me, and he appears to be salivating right now.
Well, you know, he may get a little bold tonight before it's all said and done.
Okay, I think that's what we're looking for.
But then once I get that, my starter and first couple cans of beans going, and then I'll start adding my different kinds of beans, light kidney beans, dark red kidney beans.
Those are obviously the kidney beans.
Yep, get those in there. And then, like I said, I really like tomatoes, so I add my cans of tomatoes. Got regular diced tomatoes, and then I will use some petite diced tomatoes that's already got some chives and onions mixed in it. So I'm going to get the flavor going there.
That's cool that a male firefighter is using petite tomatoes. That's good, Bart.
That's right.
A little feminine touch.
And then I use black beans with a chili seasoning on them. Give it a little color and a little more texture and taste with the beans. And I'll get it all mixed up, get it turned on, get it simmering, let it simmer for a couple hours. I'll brown my hamburger meat, get it drained like I said earlier, and then add it to top it off. And then we'll have our sides with cheese, sour cream, salt and pepper, Fritos corn chips, and you'll be ready to go.
So, for our cooking instruction, I think people can follow along on this. So this is going to cook for how long?
Normally a couple hours, you know, depending on you know, how big your crock pot is, but at least 3 hours. Let it simmer on high for about 3 hours. And then, you know, like I said, brown your meat, get it cooked good, and then add it to the top of the mix, and then just let it simmer, and then you'll be ready to eat. Alright, so we got her all cooked up later on, and get us a little bowl full right here.
Now, this is where you get into the secret part. The proportions have got to be right or it won't work, correct?
Yeah, you're right. You got to get things just right. Add a little secret stuff to it. Like I said, you got your cheese, you got your Fritos, you got your sour cream if you like all that, and then you got some secret stuff you can kind of put in there just right. I added that earlier, so we'll make sure that we get it just right.
Now, I see you're using mild cheddar cheese. Is that important?
Not really. You can use mild or sharp cheddar cheese. I just prefer the mild, and kind of doesn't overpower the chili with the sharp cheddar cheese.
So show us how it's done. Put the final ingredients in there.
Just put a little cheese on top. Get a little Fritos and put in there. Depending on how much you want. And then take a little sour cream. Add that to the top. And you're ready.
Now how about this salt and pepper?
Well, salt and pepper, I put it in it to begin with. But, if you want to add a little more. Some people like it a little bit with a little bit more pepper taste. A little bit more salt. So, all depends on taste there once you get it.
Now let's talk about your two, what I consider secret ingredients. You've got unsweet tea and Coca-Cola. Can you show us the proportions, or?
No, I think I'll hold off on those. But, that's lead to the imagination on where we go with that.
So what you're telling me is before you got your chili cooked and you slipped unsweetened tea and Coca-Cola in there.
Yeah.
I see. And how does that change the flavor, Bart? I mean, that's really unusual.
A little sweet, a little bitter. Got to get the proportion just right.
So this is why you're the favorite. You have put together what looks like traditional chili with some toppings, but you've got these two secret ingredients. That's pretty much it, huh?
That's it.
Now, let's talk about the event tomorrow. You'll obviously be there.
Yes.
We have about, I think, last time I heard, about 22 different teams, various law enforcement agencies, emergency responders, obviously fire departments. $1 a bowl.
$1 a bowl.
What else do they need to know to come out and support this thing?
Come out tomorrow, right there in the middle of Cullman, at the Cullman EMS building, right across from the courthouse. Make sure you bring your appetite. You can skip breakfast. Make sure you bring that good appetite, and find you a good bowl of chili, and then just start eating as much as you want. Because, like I said, $1 a bowl, and the way it's going to work is whoever sells the most, that's going to be the favorite, and they're going to do it all the way to 2 o'clock.
It's great, and then all these $1 bills that add up, which should be substantial, goes to charity. It's a domestic violence shelter, so that's another reason to come out.
That's right.
Now, one last question. I probably shouldn't ask you this, Bart, because I probably should ask Cullman EMS. But I plan to eat 20 bowls of chili or more. I'm going to eat from everybody. In addition to flatulence, I think I may be ill. Do you have any advice for me from a medical EMS standpoint?
Well, if it does get that bad, we'll try to work something out later in the day.
Okay, sounds good. I feel slightly better and safe about that. Bart, thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
And that is Hansville Fire and Rescue Secret Recipe Chili.